Welcome back to the freemilesmc, and today we are seeing if we can get this €350 motorcycle running. It's a 1993 Yamaha XJ. The engine is so far solid. It has a few little issues with the brakes and some other stuff that we're going to discover in this video and seeing if we can get it fixed. What is the history behind this bike? I've bought this bike about a year ago. It was supposed to be a little project for me learning how to work on bikes, and every moment when I had time I was working on it and already did the front brakes that were completely gone, and when I was still working at a motorcycle dealership took care of the carburetors and their facilities. Only problem is that is already half a year ago, so I hope that the carburetors are still good, but we know that the engine is running well. The main issue that already was apparent when I bought the bike is the rear brake. The rear brake is completely gone. Also, we would need to replace all the little rubber parts in the brake caliper, and to get these parts would take a few weeks most definitely, but we have a second Yamaha XJ that I also want to get back on the road, so we're going to use the other brake caliper and then replace all the rubber parts on the other bike then. And also the tank is super rusted through. We still have to take care of that and everything else that we will be running into in the course of this video. So let's go! Here, as you see, here are the other parts that belong to this beautiful machine. I already pushed out the other XJ, because here we have the rear brake caliper, and here we have the problem. We need to replace all the rubber parts in this, like the little O-rings that go into this thing, and we don't have them. And they will take some time to arrive, and they to get here from China they will need like 5 to 6 weeks, and I cannot wait that long because I want to get this bike on the road, and this bike can wait 5 to 6 weeks. So we're replacing all the rubber parts when I'm doing it on this one. That will then go on the old XJ. And apart from that, here we have the mirrors. We needed to take them off to get this bike into the transporter. The old battery, old brake line, because that needed to be replaced as well. And the heat cover over the carburetors. So, yeah, let's pack this stuff up again. And here we have the super rusty tank that we will need to take care of as well. And yeah. Out here are already the two motorbikes, and now, as you see, there's no brake caliper over here, and we will be taking this one off and put it over there.
Give me a black motorcycle, give me playback on a vinyl and some cheap aviators from 65. Give me snakeskin boots, skull swaying like a noose, and I'll be clinging to the back of this Indian bike. Brass rings in the center and a wind with a red sunset going down. There's no lines on a gravel road, riding where nobody goes, and I'm addicted to his leather and smoke. Give me a black motorcycle, give me playback on a vinyl and some cheap aviators from 65. Give me snakeskin boots, gold swaying like a noose, and I'll be clinging to the back of this.
So here, as you can see, we now have these screws out. These are the ones that hold in the brake pads. And now we can take these out. And you can see how absolutely done they are. Okay, so shit sadly does not go to plan in the slightest. This is the brake caliper from the bike that was in Morocco and Iceland. And as you can see, there's loads of corrosion. The pistons don't even move a little bit. So it could be that this thing is completely fucked. My hope was that I could use this brake caliper on the bike behind me, as these ones were kind of seized in the sense of that the wheel was not fully rotating with the old ones, with the old brake pads. So maybe I hope that the old brake pads were the reason for that, and I will now try to clean this up as much as possible with a toothbrush, and then we will try this one out if this works. If that doesn't work, we are forced to wait for the parts, and then the bike will not get on the road for the next 5 weeks. That would be pretty shit. I mean, maybe it still like works, but the rubber in here is like 30 years old. So better to change it as soon as we have the chance. One thing that has to be pointed out here, those bikes are over 30 years old. A lot of stuff just becomes really hard to move after 30 years, and all the rubber becomes bad, all the screws are hard to work with, and on top of that, I don't know at all what I'm doing, but I'm still trying to learn and get this done. And that's also why I'm doing these videos, to show anyone like you how this process would go for you, and to inspire to get going, even though the going gets tough sometimes. A bit of a shit situation. I now will put the brake line back onto the cylinder of this Yamaha XJ that we're actually working on. My plan to just switch cylinders didn't work because the other cylinder is like completely super gone, and I did not expect that. So what's the plan now? We're going to attach the line to the brake caliper, put it on nice and tight, and then we are going to take the cylinder off right here. And my plan is, I want to see if these things that I now try to clean with the toothbrush cleanly go out, and then I'm going to clean them again, and then hopefully they go back in, and that when pushing the rear brake. Yeah, in general, when doing work on a motorcycle, you sometimes have this decision paralysis from not really knowing what to do, because you don't really know what you're working with. And this is currently the case with this one. And I think this is a more common issue, and sometimes this is such a pain in the butt. So let's see if they come out. Nothing comes out at all. Yeah, brake fluid is completely empty. Nice. Fuck. Let me check in the car what time it is. Yeah, nice. Of course, all like places where I could buy brake fluid are closed since 2 minutes. So it's a wrap for today. This is also sometimes how working on motorcycles is like. We need to continue on Thursday. So after yesterday, the store for the brake fluid was closed. We're back with brake fluid to see if we can get the pistons in the caliper to move. Yeah, for that we sadly need to bleed the brakes and need to get brake fluid into the system, and we need a special tool for that. And we don't have it, and we don't have the money. But instead we have a used Coca-Cola bottle, a lighter, a syringe, a plastic wire, and my dad's electric screwdriver. So So after some improvisation, I present to you guys my self-built brake bleeding tool. Here we go. Yeah, so let's try this out. So I've now opened up the brake fluid reservoir and taken out this rubber membrane and put it aside. And we're now going to fill that up with this brake fluid, and then we're going to air out this dual channel brake system. We will start with the inner channel because it's always necessary to start with the thing closer to the brake reservoir. So let's get going. And I hope that when some brake fluid is in the system that we will be able to see if the cylinders in the brake caliper compress. So let's go. So in goes the brake fluid. So we've now put in some liquid, and there always needs to be some liquid visible because otherwise new air gets into the system. The moment of truth if our self-built little vacuum thing here works. So the bottle compresses, but we get some work going. You see the first bit of liquid right here, and you see all the bubbles coming through. So I think when pulling out the bottle out of this self-made bottle, it's important to keep the thing on the same level. Otherwise, you get with a little bit of suction. I don't know how the physical effect is called, but then you get this whole gasoline theft situation that the stuff just keeps flowing and flowing. So. Okay, the problem is earlier the Coca-Cola bottle broke and the Pepsi bottle is not as sturdy, so you kind of need a sturdier bottle because a lot of the vacuum is just getting transported into this bottle. It's just not what we want, that a lot of the syringe basically just compresses the bottle, and Coca-Cola bottles in comparison to Pepsi bottles are more sturdy, but sadly I broke that one. So, small problem, our bottle is not stable enough. I need to go to the gas station and buy a real Coca-Cola bottle because the Pepsi bottle doesn't do it. Fuck. So, sadly, this bottle is softer than this bottle, but this one is still not firm enough, and these bottle caps are not solid enough, so I cannot use a glass bottle. But yeah, let's try another thing. So here we have the sturdiest bottle I was able to get my hands on. You can see I can almost not squeeze it, and you can already hear from the sound that it sounds a lot sturdier than this. We are done and finally ready with a new little pump. So let's see if this now works. When the whole brake line is full of brake liquid and all the air is out, you can open this one up. You can close this one up, twist 2 times until it becomes solid, and then open it up again until the whole lever becomes hard. Yeah, so basically the thing is now hard right away. We are done with this one. Let's get the air out of the other one. Here we have a good look at the cylinders in the caliper. Sadly, they badly suffered from corrosion and are also crookedly in the cylinder, which is not good. So sadly for the moment I have to conclude that this is not really going satisfyingly. For this video, to get the bike back on the road, my plan was to replace the brake pads of the bike. Sadly, because I already knew that the caliper that belongs to this specific machine would have some issues, I tried it with the caliper of the bike that I took to Iceland. Sadly, this thing is absolute super toast and completely corroded and done. Yeah, so then I put the old one into the system of the motorcycle and activated the brake to push these ones out, as I didn't have access to pressurized air to shoot through here to get them out. So yeah, now we can see these ones are also really badly corroded and scratched up. And before completely now reworking these and without really the experience to do so, spending a whole day on that, I decided I should buy a new brake caliper because, well, also a used one, because also these ones are so far gone. I sent the pictures to some of my friends who work on bikes, and yeah, it's bad. It's just bad. In addition to that, I don't know 100% what I'm doing, and I'm missing the parts a bit, as you see with here my own little build brake bleeding thing. I will continue to keep pushing and keep trying. I now wanted to, in this video, show you that the engine is running, and wanted to start the engine. Sadly, the battery is completely flat and I have no way of charging it, so I need to get a charger for that, and cannot now jumpstart the bike. So that's kind of where it ends for today. I hope you guys still enjoyed this video, and I'm really trying to show a realistic approach to how working on bikes is, because if you start out on working on bikes and don't know what you're doing and have very little money, little tools, this is how it will be going. And I will keep going, and definitely subscribe for the next episode and ring the notification bell, and see you guys in the next video.